Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to Batwoman. Welcome back to Batwoman. This time we are on season 2. Season 1, in terms of reactions, I got like a fair. I got through more than half of it. I'd say I got through like a fair amount of it. I got up to, I think it was episode 14 or 15, and then after that I figured, I was kind of too deep into catch up to kind of like keep the reactions going. But then I did actually, or obviously I did kind of keep watching it in my own time and just caught up, and that was even quicker. But yeah, it was a great, it was a pretty fun season. It was a very fun season for what it was. And it being Ruby Rose's one and only season, I'd say it definitely left things open ended. I think they would. I don't know what part of Kate's story they would have to leave behind in that, and what part they would bring into season 2. But with Kate, I think I think when they finished season 1, they did not finish it knowing that Ruby Rose ever actually wanted to leave or had plans to leave. So when she did, then they had to kind of quickly change things up and transform some stuff for the season 2 opener and for the rest of the show's kind of run. So I don't know how much they're going to leave behind and how much they're going to bring in, but Ruby Rose did leave. She did leave. And in her wake, they brought in Javicia Leslie. So she is, to my knowledge, she is going to be playing a character from the comics called Ryan Wilders. And from what I've heard, she's great. From what I've heard, from the reviews I've heard, from the reviews I've seen, and from the also from the reviews I've heard, she is really great. And I think I've seen a few sneak peek like clips and gifs here and there, like nothing too like spoilery, like mainly kind of character teasers, suit teasers, stuff like that. And she looks great. She looks great in the suit. And I don't know where her character's going to be coming from or what her character's history is. Like, I never even knew she existed until they said that, oh, Javicia Leslie cast as Ryan Wilder. So yeah, because I figured that they likely would not recast Kane. I thought at first, oh, like, maybe they might think of just recasting the character, but then they brought in Javicia Leslie, and I was like, okay, maybe they might not be recasting. And then they after that, they actually confirmed, okay, she's going to be playing a new character from the comics called Ryan, and she's going to come in and be the new Batwoman. So I was like, okay, this sounds cool. I have faith, so I'm willing to see where they actually go with this. And a lot of people had different problems with the first season, even outside of Ruby's departure, the people had different problems with it. And me, I mean, I always try and go in with an open mind, which I did for the first season, and I ended up enjoying it. It had a lot of like story content to enjoy, and it had a lot of story value, I feel. So yeah, I think that is like my own, at this point, that is like pretty much my own concern, like how much of that can they continue on, because I think from where we left off, Alice killed Mouse because he was adamant on leaving Gotham and and encouraging Alice to go with him. He was adamant on leaving Gotham, but then Alice didn't want to leave until she could actually get Kate back to her side again. So she poisoned him, so that he would never leave her. So she ended up killing him. So Mouse is gone, and Tommy Elliot became Hush. He actually became Hush. I think he lost his face, and then so she wrapped it up in a bandage, and he got the guns and the jacket, so he actually officially became Hush. So that was a cool transformation to see. And she also gave him a new face, and not just a new face, but we got like an official face reveal for the Earth Prime Bruce Wayne. We have never seen, even pre-Crisis, we've never seen what Bruce Wayne looked like in the CW kind of Arrowverse. So now we got like an official kind of like a Gotham magazine cover page that showed the actual Bruce Wayne, and then it turned out that was the actual face that intentionally so Alice actually crafted a new face for Tommy Elliot of. So yes, I don't know how the face thing is going to work for Tommy, because I think Mouse is the one who could actually replicate voices. To my knowledge, Tommy can't really do that. But I think with Tommy, I think this is actually a really cool Easter egg and a really cool way to incorporate that story, because I think in the comics, and especially in Arkham City, I remember in Arkham City there was a mission where you had to solve murders of someone killing criminals and stealing their faces, and then in the end it was actually Hush who was actually stealing faces and skin fragments and actually trying to make the perfect copy of Bruce Wayne's face. So I think in the comics he himself is a surgeon of some kind. He actually does have like some kind of surgical history or surgical skill set, but in this one not so much. He actually relies on Alice for that, which I don't really kind of place too much of value on that. I think if they're doing the whole Bruce Wayne like Tommy Elliott pretending to be Bruce Wayne story, then I'm interested to see how that goes. But you know, even if he doesn't make the face, it doesn't really bother me all that much. But I guess we'll just see how it actually goes. And I think I want to see how far he actually goes to, if he actually just does Bruce Wayne or if he actually tries to steal the Batsuit and stuff. I mean, it's been changed now, so I don't know if he would actually be able to fit in there anymore. But yeah, so that stuff will get carried on. Alice is still around. I don't know how Alice might fit into the story now that Kate is gone. I don't know if she's still going to try and fight for anything, or if she's just going to go back to being. I think if they just took her back to being like a generic criminal trying to fight for control of Gotham, it would be cool. But I think it would take away from like what her development was in season 1. So I'm kind of cautious about that. But I have faith. I trust that Rachel and the writers can do justice for Alice, or injustice rather. Terrible joke. I know, terrible joke. But we had that, and then Sophie and Julia came back because someone she knew, I think Sophia Sohail, someone from her history actually knew about Kate and about Batwoman, and she had like a bone to pick or something. So Julia came back to protect Kate and Sophie and everyone else from her. But then, you know, in the midst of all the drama, she got caught up in the arms of Sophie, and those two kind of got together. So interested to see where that relationship progresses to. So they got to, and I think now with Kate out of the picture, I don't know how they're gonna handle her disappearance. I hope they don't kill her off, because I really don't think that they need to kill her off just to bring in Ryan. She can easily. You know, Bruce Wayne left for 3 years, and it was only mentioned for about 3 or 4 episodes, and then people just accepted that Kate was Batwoman. So I don't really think you need to kill her off. Just have her be on like a sabbatical or something, like a permanent sabbatical, or whatever, and then have Ryan be brought in. But yeah, I think with Kate out of the picture, I think it kind of brings in a lot of character motivations and developments into question. But again, season 2, going in with an open mind. I've been looking forward to this for a long time, so I am excited to see how they handle it and what new stuff they introduce. So that'll be cool. And yeah, I just really want to see Ryan. I just really want to see Javicia as Ryan, see how she smashes it and see how well she does in this role. And yeah, I think to my knowledge they are maintaining Batwoman's character. I think it's no longer Kate Kane, but I think Ryan is either bisexual or a lesbian. Is she? I don't know. I heard something about, I think it was either Javicia or Ryan. I think one of them is bisexual, I think. Yeah. I don't know, but in terms of actually maintaining the representation of Batwoman being a lesbian, they actually did kind of make sure to cast an LGBT actress and stuff, which is super cool. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they handle relationships and stuff moving forward, and how they handle everything else. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So this is the season. I think it's weird now to kind of like have this back, because in terms of like new things coming up, but like because so much production was halted last year because of COVID, now I'd like to hear that something is actually coming out. And even later in the year, Flash is going to be returning, Legends will be returning, Supergirl for its final season. Black Lightning for its final season as well. Like a lot of shows that end, a lot more shows after Arrow are ending. But now to hear now something is actually premiering in the beginning of 2021 is kind of strange to hear. But I am glad that they actually managed to pull something together and actually get something out for audiences to see. So yeah, it'll be fun. So that is pretty much all the pre-series, pre-episode speculation I have. So onto the episode. This will be the highlight reel of reactions as always. So if you guys want to catch the full-length reaction, that one will be over on Patreon. You just need your own copy of the episode and you can sync it up, and it'll be great to go. So that will be over there. But yeah, Batwoman season 2, episode 1. Let's go. Whoa, that's a plane! It is a plane! Whoa. Oh, damn. Whoa. Oh, okay. That. Oh, she's just like Kate. Oh, no. Oh.
9:35 p.m.
So, she's en route. Explains why she hasn't gotten any of our
Was she on that plane, GC9K23?
Land 20 minutes ago.
It did a crash landing. It crash landed. Was she on this plane? Is she? Did they actually kill her off? So this is how Ryan finds the suit? Oh. 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 Okay, that is a sick new title card. That is a really sick new title card. I like that. I like that. Yeah, that is cool. That is cool.
No way.
Bruce.
Bruce, it came as soon as I heard.
No, that's not Bruce. That's Matt. That's Tommy. That's Tommy. That's not Bruce. Don't trust him. Ask him really intimate question. Wait, no, he actually knows
It's been
Bruce.
4
That wouldn't
years.
work.
Bruce, where have you been?
Been the man of the castle for some time now. Lead on.
No. No, this would be the test. This would be the test. Bruce Wayne would know how to unlock his own Batcave. No, this would be the test. Yeah.
All those years teaching martial arts?
Ah.
Surely there's a dojo that will hire
Okay.
you. No one cares that the dope wasn't mine, or that the crows were dirty, or that I'm actually a decent human.
Ah.
That is not having power. That is the very definition of powerless.
Hmm. Damn.
You showed me photographs of us being tailed by some mysterious woman named Sophia.
Sophia Sahel.
You two had drama and I ended up in her crosshairs.
What are you saying?
I'm saying you and Kate were close too.
So maybe Sophia could have
Who's
targeted
to
her.
say she didn't have the same photographs of her.
This is my daughter, Commissioner. I am not giving up.
Commissioner Gordon. Damn. Don't give it to Bruce. Don't give it to not Bruce. Don't give it to fake Bruce.
Never again.
Is she gonna put it on? Oh, damn. Oh. So her mother was killed and her landlord, apparently. Damn, that is quick. That is a quick fit. That is a quick fit. Ooh. Oh.
Time to be powerful.
There we go. Okay, this is all very quick. I will point that out. This is all very quick, but I'm kind of loving it.
Bulletproof, bitches! Wait, what the?
Oh, oh. That's a sonar. Detective mode. Detective mode. Oh, damn.
Sorry, legit didn't mean that. You freaking shot. Look,
You shot her like 24 times. Oh, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I have no idea what this stuff is. You want to figure it out together, or you want to help?
I kind of like that. That energy. The energy in that scene. I actually really enjoyed that. Oh, they're gonna find Ryan. They're gonna find Ryan in the suit. Oh, I am very anxious for this meeting.
Trust me, I know I'm not a symbol. Or a name, or a legacy.
Exactly, so why do you think you're worthy of wearing it?
Because I'm a number. I am the 327th baby of a black woman who died during childbirth that year. I'm a $20 a day check to a group home. I'm inmate 40757, 18 months for a crime I didn't commit. But I can live with all those numbers because to mama who adopted me, those are number one.
How? You just got home.
Exactly. Squatting in my house.
Ah,
Figured I was gone for good.
he's giving her
Before
up.
you barge in there and start mucking up all my furniture. You didn't hear this from me.
He's selling Alice out. Damn.
What did you ring the eagle?
Eagle.
The eagle. Daddy practically raised you.
Alfred.
I think he thinks you're dead.
Alfred.
Good point.
Well, he's at home in Glasgow. Same little cottage in the woods.
I'll buzz him ASAP. Good seeing you, Jules.
Was that a test? I feel like that was a test.
Mary, there's no point.
I feel like Julia would know to test him. Julia would know to test him.
That would be nice. 56 floors up. Talk about optimal sunlight. Don't look at me like that.
Her mom died in childbirth.
In her statement, Kate said it's paradoxical to fight on behalf of an institution that sees my sexual orientation as the enemy. Okay, that's kind of badass.
Yeah.
Arrested
Yeah, it is.
for possession and intent. The squatters were linked to the Alice in Wonderland gang.
Oh, she's after Alice.
Please! Wake up, please, Mama!
Oh, Jesus. Fuck. First episode, I'm already sort of being thrown into the deep end of emotion. Jesus.
she didn't even want to do it, and I pushed.
Luke, that is not what happened.
I'm the reason she got on that plane.
Look at me. What would Kate say if she knew you were blaming yourself?
I don't know. Things are usually her fault.
Whoa, okay, that's pretty efficient. Reminds me of the gel from the Arkham games that you spray on and then detonate. Yeah. Okay, that's the Batmobile. Okay. Won't lie, I was expecting a little more, but yeah, that's the Batmobile.
A lesbian superhero who could have killed me a dozen times but didn't?
Hell of a
I wonder
description.
who that could be.
Very, very accurate
That's
description.
preposterous.
And she died knowing that her father hated her. If you don't believe me, turn on the bat signal. See if she comes.
You know, I actually want that to happen, but then for Ryan to fly in announcing herself as the new Batwoman, I actually kind of want that to happen. Oh, can she really outdrive the Batmobile? Can she outdrive the Batmobile?
Can you hack the Batmobile?
I'll try. Until 10 minutes ago, I didn't even know it was in here.
You didn't know the Batcave was in the Batmobile? Where else would it be?
Tommy has the kryptonite.
Is it gonna be a shotgun loaded with kryptonite? No way. No way. Oh, it was a kryptonite bullet. It was kryptonite. Oh crap. Oh, there we go. Marsha, scissor kick him. Scissor kick him. There we go. There we go. Oh no. Oh, that plant was the one good thing she had left in her life. Oh, Jesus. Did she punch his face off? She punched his face off. She punched his damn face off. Yeah.
It's done. It's over.
Yeah. First episode and she's already punching faces off. Let's keep that. Let's keep that in mind. Let's keep that in mind. That is very valuable information.
Like you said, Kate was a hero. I'm not.
You can be. Like you said, numbers equal justice. Numbers equal justice. And justice is what the bat symbol is all about. Sometimes. Depends on which bat person you are.
And I want you to know that lying to you is the hardest thing I've ever done. But I lied because I love you. So that's the truth. I hope you think I did a good job for our city.
Paper aeroplane? That is a CGI paper. No one could throw a paper airplane that well. That is a CGI paper airplane. Consider us even, Sapphire. Oh, Sapphire did do it. Sapphire killed Kate. Oh, okay, now Alice has a personal bone to pick.
And I will try to do the right thing tomorrow. And the next day, I'll be your #1 girl again.
Oof. She was hit by kryptonite. Surely that should result in some kind of poisoning, right? Yeah, kryptonite poisoning. Okay, good. Very good to hear that theme back again. Very good. To hear that theme back again. That is very good. Very good. Okay, yeah, no, for a premiere that was pretty good. I really enjoyed that. I think it was fairly fast paced. That is, I think as things progressed, I think it like in terms of Ryan's introduction and her presence in the actual episode, it felt very, very fast paced. And you know, I think it definitely felt like a case of the audience being like pushed into the story and having to keep up with everything that was happening instead of everything happening in a way that actually felt like natural in terms of the story unfolding. Like event-wise, it definitely felt like, you know, we I think, or at least I personally felt like I as an audience member had to actually keep up, which it wasn't hard to keep up with it, but it just felt like, you know, okay, one thing's happening, now the next thing's happening, now the next thing's happening, and stuff like that, so it's fairly fast-paced, but I think for the most part, this very clearly kind of carries on from, like, mostly from where we left off in Season 1. I can't remember exactly everything that happened in the finale of Season 1, but I think in this one, apparently they had Kate flying to National City first before this premiere, before this episode's story, and as the episode and then as the episode opened up, she was flying back in from National City. So she went to National City because Luke was concerned with the literal last piece of kryptonite that Kate was given by Kara back in the Crisis, and so he wanted to destroy it, but he wanted to actually get Kara's permission before, because Kara, because that piece was given to Kate under Kara's confidence that she would have the courage to never have to use it and stuff like that. So she had to make sure that Kara was okay and that she knew what was going on and stuff like that. So she was on a plane, and then that gave Sophia the ultimate thing. So Sophia, okay, I mean, I will not lie, I don't know why they felt that they had to kill off Kate, because I think. Yeah, because that to me, that just gives me the kind of feeling that for whatever reason they felt like they had to kill off one character like Kate in order to bring in another character like Ryan, which isn't the case. I mean, they brought Kate in a time where Bruce was never some people felt like Bruce was dead because he was gone for so long, but they brought in Kate after Bruce had been missing for like 3 years, almost 4 years. Like now at this point, someone I think it was Luke that mentioned it was actually 4 years since he'd gone. So they brought Kate in when Bruce had been confirmed missing for 3 years. They didn't have to kill him off. They didn't have to say that he'd been killed by one of his enemies and stuff like that. But for some reason they felt like they had to actually kill Kate off in a plane crash off screen. I mean, off screen I think kind of makes sense, because I think they definitely didn't plan on actually taking Kate out of the story. Ruby left of her own accord, and then they had to actually, further develop the story in her absence and wrap the story around somewhere. But again, I don't know why they felt like a death was the only necessary conclusion. I think, yeah, but I think maybe this I think the focus here is less on it. Well, I think not less, but like half on the actual death of Kate and half on how the other characters move forward in the event of her death. So I think especially because it's an off-screen death, like it kind of gives them more time to focus on exactly how her death would affect the other characters and how they would move forward and stuff. So yeah, again, I think in that sense, I think it's an interesting way to push the story forward. But again, it just doesn't feel right having to like them killing off Kate just to bring in another character. Like they could have easily had Kate just go missing in a similar style, for mysterious reasons, and just had like her running away and stuff. So yeah, but no, I think I don't know, but that in no way does that negate or override my excitement for Javicia. Javicia, my god, she was amazing in this episode. She was absolutely amazing to see. Like there was so much emotion in this opening that kind of surprised me, that kind of caught me off guard, like so much emotion from different characters, that felt surprising for an open. I think see, like for like a season premiere, it felt surprisingly emotional at some points. Like Luke feeling guilty because he said he felt guilty because he was the one that pushed Kate to ask Kara if it was okay for them to destroy the kryptonite, and then he feels like if he had never pushed that hard, she never would have went there and then come back. She never would have been traveling on such an easily destroyable piece of travel in the first place. So he felt guilty because of that, and then even after that, like discovering that Tommy Elliott was actually the one behind the face of Bruce Wayne, and how he felt like he should have known because Bruce was his friend, and all that stuff happened. So yeah, so there was a hell of a lot of emotion from Cameras on Luke's end, and emotion from Kane, from Jacob Kane as well, like him discovering that, like him being told by Alice that Batwoman was actually Kate Kane, and that also her digging the knife in further, saying like, the very last interaction you guys had was you literally shooting her. I think that was probably, I can't be entirely sure, but I think that might have been when he actually surrounded her at the football stadium and shot her like a dozen times with his men as she literally grappled up into the air. So that might have been that, but then more so than that, he actually told her she died knowing that her father rejected her for being Batwoman, even though he didn't know who was behind the mask. He didn't know it was really her, and that was Alice's plan all along too, to actually get the kryptonite, to set Kane and Batwoman against each other, and then have him kill her, but then to remove the mask only to find out that he had actually killed his daughter. Like, just a really sick, twisted tale of familial revenge. and stuff. So that is pretty twisted. That is pretty twisted. And now we see with Kane, he actually follows Alice's kind of tip and actually turns on the bat signal at the very end of the episode, and no one comes. No Batwoman, no Kate, nothing. And then he's like, wow, he actually did. You know, that is how he ended it. And I think that's what because like that is one of the things I wanted to see, like to see how like an actual reveal of Kate being Batwoman would have gone for Kane. I think this did. I mean, if you value emotional drama, then it definitely seems like a plus. It definitely kind of puts that kind of emotional twist onto it, like a, you know, like the whole kind of, you know, like it's especially in terms of like familial drama, that tone is definitely very well embedded. But again, I would have actually liked to see Kane and Batwoman working together once he finds out that Kate is Batwoman, and once he finds out that she's not the enemy, whether she's Kate or whether she's Batwoman, that Batwoman especially isn't the enemy. Because I think, you know, like a partnership between the GCPD and Gordon and Batman was very much possible. It took time, sure, because they initially saw him as a vigilante, and there was definitely tension, but it worked. It like eventually they actually started to see Batman as like an ally, and actually let him do his thing and stuff like that. So I would have preferred to see it. I think especially if, even if I think her and the Crow, like Batwoman and the Crows working together would be a different story. But I think like I would have actually liked to see Batwoman and Commander Kane actually, you know, patching things up and actually trying to, you know, especially like that kind of face reveal like would have been nice, because he was the only one in the family who never knew. He was the only one like Mary knew, Alice knew, everyone else knew. I don't think Catherine knew, but she didn't really last too long anyway. But yeah, I think that would have been nice to see, but apparently no. Apparently killing her off was the only answer. So now Kane moves forward with the guilt that, you know, in his final moments, like, you know, Kate suffered with the thoughts and the anxieties of her father hating her and her father villainizing her so much to the public as well. So yeah, and I think the one thing I could admire was that Kane was actually so desperate and so adamant to not make the same mistakes with Kate that he did with Alice. Like with Alice, he gave up only after being misled by Catherine about the bones and the DNA report and all that sort of stuff. So he was misled by her and then led to believe that Alice was actually dead, and then he actually dropped the search. But, you know, like knowing exactly what that cost him, knowing what that cost him and what that cost his daughters, he was adamant not to make the same mistake with Kate again. So, you know, that I think Alice kind of like appreciated the irony in that more. Like now that he knows it led to darker things than just like a missing child coming back from the dead, he knows that, you know, like, oh, he now knows not to stop looking for one of his children, because in case they come back to life like 10, 20 years in the future and start to plot murderous kind of threats against him or something. But no, he now moves forward knowing that he can never patch things up with Kate again. And again, like that kind of stuff, like, you know, like killing Kate off just doesn't feel right to me. Like, again, I think the basic issue is the fact that they felt that they had to kill off one character who was LGBT just to bring in another. I mean, you know, I don't know if her being LGBT had anything to do with it, but I think it is kind of fairly common across media for writers to feel like they can't have more than one or maybe even two LGBT characters on screen or in the story at the same time. Sometimes they feel like they have to actually kill one off and then bring another one in with a new background and a new identity and everything like that. So can't help but feel that way. But yeah, but Kate is dead. Kate Kane is dead. I think, you know, I mean, I won't lie, part of me doesn't even know whether or not that's true, because I think we're only into the first episode. Like, the first episode in, we find out that, you know, there's no sign of Kate having survived, but then again, she did take she took, like, the first episode of Batwoman, we saw that she was in the Arctic or something, under icy water, doing survival lessons and survival training, so I don't know if any of that training actually taught her how to not die in like a plane crash or anything, but I don't know. I feel like her. I think because I feel like, you know, like being like a bat person, being a Batwoman or Batman or just a part of the Bat family means that, you know, you're given extensive survival training and extensive kind of training in general. So I feel like it would teach you to be able to escape like near death situations and like life like death defying situations. So I don't know, but yeah, because then it's the first episode. It feels like death is really easy to actually mark on the map right now, and especially because Ruby Rose has left, there's no signs. I think I don't know if she's been asked about whether she might come back in the future, because I think if she left of her own accord for whatever reason, then I think it's unlikely she might return. But so then in that case, killing her would be easier instead of leaving the door open in the future for no reason. But I don't know, because then I think that's why I think recasting Kate would make better. Because if you leave the door for Kate open in the future and Ruby Rose still doesn't want to come back, then you can easily recast her with someone else and then bring Kate back in. So the character herself was still so important to the story and to audiences, and she still mattered so much. So I feel like killing the character off just because the actress doesn't want to come back is a really kind of like a harder blow than necessary. Like keeping the character alive and recasting her in the future when necessary, when you feel like you want to bring her back in, it brings up so much more opportunities, and you could actually have Ryan and Kate working together or something. So yeah, and yeah, I mean, again, I think a recasting would have been saved better in the future, because I think right now they've actually done a great job with introducing Javicia as Ryan. Ryan seems like a really, really cool character, and I think especially her being Batwoman, like she's not Batwoman. I think that is what seemed so obvious about this, that she's wearing the suit, but she's not actually using this. Like she's using the suit, but she's not wearing the suit. She's not yet donning the identity of Batwoman. She's not like slapping that label on herself. She's not really trying to be a vigilante. She is looking for justice. She's looking for justice. I think her backstory, especially the way she described it, I think especially the way she described, like she was the kind of umpteenth child born to a woman on that day. She was inmate number 40 something. She, like all these different numbers have had such a negative impact on life. Like she lost her dad to murder, or like she didn't. I don't know what happened to her dad, but she lost her mother to childbirth. Like her mother actually died giving birth to her, and she was caught. She was convicted. She was wrongly convicted for a crime she didn't commit. They found drugs on her, and it was to do with dirty crows too. To do with corrupt crows. But they wouldn't listen to her. They didn't listen to her. They didn't believe what she said. So she went down for a crime she didn't commit. So all these different numbers, all these different things that have happened to have had like this negative impact. But then later down, like she's been in and out of like care homes and foster homes and families and stuff like that. So she's just had like a really, really rocky road in life. But then one day she's taken in by a woman, and the one time the number actually positively impacts her is being her mother's number one girl. It's the one time that the number actually positively impacts her. So that's the one time she actually feels hope and safety and happiness in her life. And then she comes back home one day to find her mother and landlord dead on the floor, and then a group of squatters are startled and start kicking the crap out of her too. And the plot twist I never would have suspected is that Alice was involved. The squatters weren't directly connected to the Wonderland gang, I think, because they weren't wearing masks. Like the Wonderland gang usually wear like bunny masks, but they weren't using masks. But the squatters were connected to the Wonderland gang, so I think maybe Alice worked to actually maybe try and find places or find like makeshift homes for squatters, or in like an attempt to maybe recruit them, like I'll give you shelter and I'll find you shelter and safety, and in turn you work for me, do what I say. Stuff like that. So Alice came in at the end as they were still kicking the crap out of Ryan, and then she actually drew them away. And right before she left, Ryan saw her face, and she saw the face. She saw the face of the woman responsible for these men that were in turn responsible for killing her mother and her landlord. And she couldn't save her mother. Like Javicia's emotion in that scene too, like Ryan's emotion in that scene, like so desperately wanting to bring her mother back. And she had that Kane vibe. She had the Kane vibe, actually, like doing CPR and yelling like live. Like Kate was doing with August Cartwright. But the Javicia's presence and her introduction in the scene as Ryan was just really, really well executed. She's so great so far. I can't wait to see where the rest of the season takes her. But yeah, I think like it's great. I think it's really understandable and great to see that they did not rush into making her Batwoman just yet, because I think right now, I think it's also the fact that like right now, like being Batwoman is not her priority. Like getting justice for her mother's murder is her priority. That's what she cares about, and she knows that Alice was behind, was connected to her mother's murder. She was in charge of the squatters that killed her, so she's the one. She's the one in charge. So she's the one she naturally wants to go after and stop. But being Batwoman, I think she might be aware of who it is. She must be aware of that costume, the title, the symbol, because I don't know if she, I don't know if she's actually new to Gotham, because there was reference that, I mean, she was in and out of there was a term they used. It wasn't foster homes. I said foster homes before, but there was actually like a word like a term they used for like that kind of adoption, that kind of care. But I can't remember what they actually. I don't know if it was care homes. Group homes. That was it. Group homes. I just went back and actually looked. It was group homes. And fuck's sake! Now I forgot. I've forgotten the original train. I was so focused on finding out what the original term was. I've forgotten the point that I had. I've literally forgotten what I was actually talking about. To do with groups. Her going in and out of group homes, and getting adopted and stuff. And I hate how my brain fails to work sometimes. I actually hate how I hate how it fails to work. I hate it. But yeah, no, I mean, like she was in Gotham. I presume she was in Gotham. So I think she must have been aware of Batwoman, of the symbol, because I think she didn't look totally kind of ignorant when she picked up the suit. She picked up the suit seeming to know what it was and what it meant, and seeing like a bright red bat symbol on the front, she seemed to know what it meant too. So yeah, so I think it definitely makes sense that she isn't actually donning the identity right now. She wore the suit knowing what it was, and especially like I don't think she would just put on like a random suit of armor thinking that it would protect. Like she knew it was Batwoman's suit. Batwoman is known to be like bulletproof and super, super badass and everything, and she can fly and kick and has all these gadgets and everything. So like her wearing the suit, her using the suit for the first time was such a joy to watch. Her discovering all these gadgets, like firing off a batarang into the dude's knee and putting off the sonar vision, and using the even using the cable to go in upside down and be like boo to the guy in the clown mask and everything. So like her discovering those abilities for the first time, and I think even personality-wise, she's a very, very good, different kind of Batwoman. Like I think with Kate, she had that kind of not stoicism, but a kind of like forwardness, I think, is it? It's like a stead, like she was a lot more direct. She was a lot more direct, and I think it's because with Kate, she very carefully and immaculately crafted her identity as Batwoman. She wanted to be like similar to Batman in the way that she wanted her enemies to fear her. But with Ryan not actually intending to be Batwoman, but just using the suit to get her point across, to get her mission done. She's a lot more kind of charismatic and free, and like she's like even that line when she's about to press a button on the gauntlet, she's like, I have no idea what this button does. Want to find out together? Like that line, that the delivery, her stance, like her personality showing through. Like it's just really, really great to see. So it's like, I think it would be really, really fun if we can combine, if Ryan could combine a kind of direct intimidation attitude with this, like in like something a bit more comedic. Because I think she does use the voice modulator, but with Kate, I think because like with Ryan, barely anyone knows who she is. So I don't know if she'll have to use the voice modulator as. I mean, she might still have to, because I think if she interacts with people as Ryan Wilder, then she have to, cover her voice up too. So I think she might still use the voice mod, but I think with this one, like she didn't have to use it as much. But with Kate, anytime she was in the Batsuit, majority of the time, she would actually use the voice mod and stuff. So yeah, but even then, their voices are really different. Like Ryan's is a lot softer and a lot sweeter, and like it's just really nice to listen to. Or with Kate, it's like a lot deeper, and it's a lot like fitted to be like a bat vigilante and stuff. And it was still great to listen to, but with Ryan, I think her personality, I think that is the one kind of uniqueness that they share with each other. Like their voices definitely fit their personalities. Like Ryan, she like with Ryan herself, she seems like a really sweet, innocent, like kind of like decent human being, as she described herself as, and she seems definitely driven for justice, with wanting to actually avenge her mother's murder. But with Kate, I think with Kate, with Bruce gone, she wanted to fill those shoes. She wanted to be the kind of beacon of hope that Batman used to be for Gotham, but just being Batwoman. So it will be interesting to see how Ryan fills these shoes and what kind of approach she takes, like mentally and physically. And I think physically as well, she's well trained. She's got years of martial arts training. And even when she went to see that woman in the office, about her employment and everything. She actually, you know, like the woman even pointed out, like, you know, you have years of martial arts training under your belt, no pun intended. So maybe there's like a dojo that hire you, but because she was an ex-con, there was no landlord who would rent to her, no one who would hire her. So she had like an even tougher time actually dealing with life itself. So yeah, so that was that. So with Ryan, I'm interested to see, like, especially because Ryan is nothing like it. Like, Kate comes from like a fairly wealthy family and a fairly wealthy background, and like a fairly privileged kind of background. So with Ryan, like, with all these different issues and all these different like diversities and these prejudices kind of resting on her shoulders from the world, I'm interested to see how they actually bring her into the role of Batwoman, to see her taking on the mask and taking on the symbol and actually showing people that they have to be afraid again of justice. It's going to be really a fun journey. I think it's going to be a really fun journey, and I think I have no doubts whatsoever in Javicia's ability to carry on this role. I have full faith after this episode, because it's really fun seeing her as Batwoman. So I want to see what kind of approach she takes and how the series carries on in her presence and with her presence. So yeah, Ryan is definitely going to be fun. Ryan's going to be fun. And I think also one thing I forgot to mention was actually Ryan reading that newspaper article and actually discovering who Kate was, because I think she knew Batwoman, but she knew Batwoman. I feel she was like familiar with Batwoman, but she never really knew Kate. So she never really knew Kate. And you know, after finding out that the suit belonged to Kate, and you know, Luke and Mary were friends or / family of hers, she actually read up on the newspaper article about her, and she found out all that she did. She was expelled from Point Rock for her sexual orientation. She started the Pride real estate thing. She, you know, funded the production of a gay bar, and all these different things in her life that she did, despite all these people telling her that it was what was wrong with her. Like all these different accomplishments, all these different things she did, despite the world firing metaphorical bullets and oftentimes real bullets at her. I think that actually may well serve as a point of inspiration as well, and especially if Ryan herself is LGBT, whether she's bisexual or a lesbian. I think that will also give her the kind of like motivation she needs, that, you know, Batwoman was just like you. Batwoman was just like you in some ways, anyway. So you definitely deserve just as much chance as her. I think the point that matters is the fact that, you know, if Ryan really believes in the fight for justice, if she really believes in fighting the good fight and being that person and holding that symbol up in the sky for everyone to actually see and look up at in hope, then she can definitely carry on that symbol. She can definitely carry it on, and she has a skill set to do too. Like that fight between her and Tommy, like, you know, Tommy broke her plant. I think that also had, like, I don't know if everyone's going to see that, but the way I saw it, that scene also has, like, you know, like a more emotional gravity than initially realized. The fact that, because like what I immediately thought of was the fact that, you know, she's lost almost everything. She lost her home, her family, the only family she had. All she has is that RV and everything in it. So like that plant as well is something that she was talking to the plant earlier on as well, and like cracking jokes with it. So, you know, Tommy breaking that plant was the one good thing, like the one living creature she had left in her life, and Tommy breaking it was definitely the last straw. So then she actually unleashes all of her kicks and punches. Like, she literally punched his face off. I was pretty sure, like, because like at first I was like, wait, she can actually like break his bones in, but then I was like, oh wait, it's Tommy wearing a fake face, so she's literally just gonna end up punching the face off, which she did, which might have been, I mean, I think if she didn't know it was actually Bruce Wayne, she would have been more scared, because then she'd be like, oh my god, did I just punch Bruce Wayne's face off? But then knowing beforehand from Mary and Luke that it was actually Tommy Elliott, like more like an Arkham Asylum escapee wearing Bruce Wayne's face, she was actually less worried that, you know, it wasn't actually the real Playboy billionaire that she was about to kill. But yeah, that scene was brutal, and understandably so. So, and we see the Batmobile for the first time. Tommy breaks into the thing. I think there were various like chances, I think, to test Tommy's knowledge. Julia was the only one who did. I think Julia having the close. I feel like, you know, like Luke really should have tested him. Like, you know, like, Bruce, like, it's been 4 years. You really don't want to open the door to your own Batcave. Like, that would have been the ultimate test, like, for him to actually, because like you could tell by the way he was standing there so blindly, he didn't, like, it wasn't really Bruce, so he didn't know where to press or what to press or whatever. So I feel like that would have been the ultimate test. Like, you know, Bruce, you've been away for like 3 or 4 years. Like, surely opening up your own Batcave would be really nostalgic for you. Go ahead, open the fucking door. But no, Luke just goes ahead and, you know, draws him into the Batcave and shows him everything that he needs to see. So that happens, but then Julia is the one who actually tests him with the Eagle, because, you know, like, yeah, because I mean, Bruce not knowing Alfred's code name, the Eagle, would be a very, very concerning thing, and then of course not knowing his real location, like, you know, him having like a cabin in Glasgow or whatever, or like a cottage in Glasgow, but really he's actually in a flat in London. I think they mentioned that last time. They actually mentioned that in the last season, that Alfred was in London. So him not knowing any of that would definitely be a cause for concern for Julia, so I figured Julia would be the one to crack it. So then she saw that he had like a drink with she caught the alcohol on his breath, so then, you know, found out that she had a drink with Commander Kane in his office, so then she pulled the prints over that and then deduced that it was actually Tommy Elliot. So Julia being the one to deduce it, I am proud of her. I'm proud of her for that. Her being the one to be most intuitive and like attentive of the minor details, more minor to the naked eye or ear, or ears. But, you know, with Bruce and Alfred being as connected as they are, it would be hard not to catch on to details like that. So that was cool. But yeah, he broke into the Batcave and he stole the Batmobile. Like one other thing that surprised me was that, you know, Luke claimed to not know the Batmobile was even in the Batcave. I don't know if he was talking about something else, but the way that scene was rolling out, so much stuff was happening so quickly, so I figured that he actually probably meant that he didn't know the Batcave was even in here. In canon, in Batman canon, the Batcave is in the Batmobile. Yeah, the Batcave is in the Batmobile. The Batmobile is in the Batcave. That is just canon. That is where it always is. There's always like a secret, like another kind of like, it's even connected to like a secret cave entrance that it flies in and out of. So where else the Batmobile would be? And I think the Batmobile, honestly, is kind of underwhelming. Honestly, for me, appearance-wise, it's kind of underwhelming. It just seems like a really souped-up, regular kind of sports car. It doesn't really look. Doesn't look too flashy or too special. Like, it has its gadgets. It has like a screen on the inside, and it has the gadgets like the rockets and everything else. But besides that, it doesn't really look like anything too big. So, like, for its first appearance, it's kind of underwhelming. But I guess looks can be deceiving. I think it's still, as long as it functions as it's supposed to, and it's practical as it's supposed to be, then it shouldn't be too much of a problem. But I just feel like it just didn't really live up to my. I mean, my expectations. I feel like my expectations have been really heightened by the Arkham games. Like, seeing the Batmobile in the Arkham games, like if you're gonna do it for a game, it's much easier to pull off. You can do it as practical and as flexible and as, you know, fantastical as you want it. Like, there's less, like, you know, visual constraints you have to pull off. But like, if you're doing it for a movie or a TV show, you actually have to try and stay within your own budget and your own kind of actual visual, you know, limitations and stuff. I think the one in the Dark Knight series was kind of cool. That one was kind of cool. The one in the DCEU was fairly cool, but with this one thing, I think especially with the TV show too, you have a significantly smaller budget to work with. You have to do with the best you got. It makes sense, but I think it just still kind of felt underwhelming. Maybe it was just me, but hey, we got the Batmobile. So I don't think Ryan's gonna be using that. I would much rather prefer to see her on a bike. Kate worked the bike really well. So I'd love to see Ryan working with a bike too. But we'll see. I don't know how quickly or how soon they might actually jump into developing Ryan for the Batwoman mantle, if it's going to be next episode or the episode afterwards. But I guess we will see. I think the way this episode has gone, I feel like it might not even be. I think it might be at the end of the next episode that they actually introduce her to the Batcave. But I guess we'll just have to, you know, see how the story unfolds. So yeah. Yeah, so Sophia was the one who killed Kate. Yeah, no, at first I wasn't sure what was happening, because at first it just showed something crashing in the kind of background of Ryan's RV. I was honestly, I thought it was a meteor. I thought there was some kind of meteor, like surprise meteor shower in Gotham that we had to worry about. But then, you know, I was like, you know, like it looked small enough to be I mean, meteors are generally bigger, but I don't know, it just seemed like something maybe crashed in from space. And then, like, you just look up at the sky and then, like, not even a full plane, half a plane with the rest of it falling in the background as debris, half a plane just comes crashing down into the ground. And I thought, okay, that raises more questions. Like, it's definitely, you know, definitely got to be pieces of a plane now. So then I was wondering, was there like a bomb aboard the plane, or was it still a meteor that just crashed into the plane and made it actually made it block, because that would also be plausible. But no, I think Sophie actually mentioned it was actually it was a recalled component. So to my knowledge, to my own knowledge, and to my understanding, I could be wrong. If I am, then correct me. But to my own knowledge, that means it might be like a piece of a plane that was like initially rechecked for any faults or any discrepancies or whatever, but then it was actually maybe put back in after they suspected that it was fixed or something. I don't know. Is that right? It sounds right. It sounds accurate. So they must have been notified of the fact that oh, this piece is faulty or it's not working up to scratch or up to normal like health and safety standards. So we need to actually take this piece out and replace it with a more like functional version of it. So I don't know if that then means that Kate flew on a plane if she flew on a plane with that particular component still being faulty, like before it could be replaced, or if she flew in a replaced one where something still went wrong. But we know Sophia was involved. Sophia was then involved, so maybe she was injured. Like, so maybe she kind of got her grips on the entire replacement thing. Maybe she corrupted the component or left it in or did something. But we know Sophia was involved. Sophia left that little CGI paper plane. I'm still convinced that paper plane thrower was CGI. I don't believe anyone, especially if you're throwing it into the ground, intentionally into the ground. I don't believe anyone could be good enough. Well, I don't know. I mean, are professional paper plane throwers a thing? Is that a thing? Is that like a thing that you can like a professional paper plane thrower, someone who can throw it so well? Because I feel like it's probably CGI, because then they cut to the next shot directly being on the ground, where the real paper is conveniently by Alice's feet, but then the CGI one definitely has it just floating in the air, effortlessly landing at Alice's feet. So I don't know, but either way, Sophia sent her a message saying, "Now consider us even." So, I think maybe Sophia saw Kate / Batwoman as like a common enemy between her and Alice. So now she feels like she did them both a favor. But Alice wanted to be the one responsible, or at least the one who was responsible for the events leading up to Kate's death. So she considers this like a revenge mission more than anything else. I think in that sense, that's how her character's moving on. So she feels like she couldn't kill Kate personally or punish her personally. So someone else took that opportunity from her. So now Alice is going to go after Sophia, and she was even talking to Mouse's corpse at the end, saying that war is coming to Gotham. So if Sophia really is coming in to finish off maybe Julia and Sophie, then she very easily could be caught up in the middle of a war instigated by Alice. So yeah, that'll be fun. Okay, yeah, that is pretty much it. That is pretty much all I've got from this episode. It was a very, very fun opener, very, very fun season opener, and as I've said many times now, I cannot wait to see where we continue on from here with Ryan's story and how she becomes Batwoman and how she carries the mantle and how this season actually unfolds with all the characters involved. So that will hopefully be a very fun ride. And unlike with the first season, this season, I solemnly swear that I will react to each and every episode as quickly as I can, like as quickly as they come out. I will react to them as on time and as consistently as I can. So hopefully this will be a very fun journey that we can both enjoy as audience members. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this reaction, and we'll hopefully enjoy the many more reactions to come. But yeah, that is it. That is pretty much all I've got. So that was Batwoman Season 2, Episode 1. So thank you guys, as always. Thank you so much for being here. If you guys enjoyed the video, then salt and burn that like button. Is that how my outro goes? I forgot. I don't know. Yeah, that is. Yeah, I don't know if I worded it differently. But either way, yeah, if you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think is going to be coming up next, and what you thought of Ryan and her introductory portrayal as Batwoman as of yet. And what you hope to see from her in the future, and what you hope to see in this season in the future as it goes along, and what your theories are. And once again, if you guys want to catch the full-length reaction, that one is going to be over on Patreon, so you can go check that out over there. And yeah, that is it. So, I will see you guys next time.